The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Welcome back, Gulf Coast. Welcome back, America. Welcome back, world. And welcome back, Grace Vuoto. So glad that you're with us today. So, Dr. Grace, catch us up on Loretta Fuddy. What's the latest? You wrote an amazing piece last week in the World Tribune about the weirdness of this whole death of one person on a 9-passenger plane. Happens to be the one that certified Obama's birth certificate. Happens to have happened just a few months before all this information is going to come out. You were talking about an autopsy, and within hours, the news media was talking about an autopsy. Tell us about all that.
Yeah, and Carl, that's another example of when you start pressing, you're amazed at the results. You're amazed that, people do respond. So the piece was published on Friday. It was called The Strange Death of Loretta Fuddy. I was on the air with you on Friday night.
Yep.
And then by Monday evening, finally, the Maui police issued a statement about what was the ultimate cause of death. And they said that Loretta Fuddy died as a result of cardiac arrhythmia due to stress, induced by stress, and they deemed this incident to be an accident. Now, we have more questions. The first question is, does it seem like a legitimate narrative based on her health history?
Mm-hmm.
Well, her brother, Louis Fuddy, immediately said to the press she had no history of health problems, of heart problems or health problems. She was healthy and she had no history of heart problems. Usually, someone who has an irregular heartbeat, which is what cardiac arrhythmia is, they have a history of heart problems.
So you're telling me that right after the media puts out this autopsy report, the brother cries junk alert?
Well, you know what else he says? He doesn't actually come out and he says it as coyly, I guess, as he can. The next thing he said is, and she was used to dealing with a lot of stress. It takes very cool nerves to run the Department of Health in Hawaii.
Right. Yeah.
So essentially he's saying as much as he can say that he has questions about this result.
Right. And don't use a curse word in describing it, Dr. Grace. I know.
No, I've learned my lesson. I'm a proper lady right now.
That's right.
So listen to this. In addition, if you understand cardiac arrhythmia, usually it's detected through a monitor on your heart while the person is alive. It's very difficult to detect cardiac arrhythmia once the person is dead.
Wow.
Now, it is possible, yes, it's possible that she suffered an irregular heartbeat that led to this kind of an irregular heartbeat that clogged her veins and led to her death. But sometimes when an examiner can't find anything else in the body, they just write cardiac arrhythmia because they don't know what else it could be. So the next step is we still have questions. I thought those lines by the Maui police were too thin, and we should press the family to petition for the release of the autopsy to the public. We should be able to see all of the details of that autopsy. I'm not satisfied. And you know what else I'm not satisfied about? There's actually the footage of the plane crash. And I'm sure lots of the audience has seen it because there was a young man in the back seat who recorded it. And what you see is everybody on that plane was calm.
Right, she was too.
As the plane was hitting the water. Mm-hmm. And everybody coming out of that plane was calm. Nobody was panicking. Nobody was screaming. Nobody was trampling on one another. And then while they're in the water, everybody is calm. And why shouldn't they be calm? Because there's a plane hovering up ahead, basically reassuring them that they're about to be rescued.
Right.
So why would Loretta Fuddy, who has nerves of steel generally, suffer such a massive panic attack or an irregular heartbeat, whatever you want to call it, because she's freaking out that she's about to die when it's clear she's about to be rescued?
And not only that, but we have video footage of her face smiling and laughing as they take video of people. She is not freaking out. She appears to be just fine.
Well, you see, I have to give a lot of credit to the pilot because he basically told, as they were heading towards the water, he said, well, we're all about to take a swim. So he kept everybody very calm. Yeah. And the footage is there for everybody to see. I've never seen a plane crash, a plane going down, where everybody is that calm. And nor have I ever seen an emergency situation where everybody's helping one another and reassuring each other.
Right.
And that's why all of the witnesses said everybody was fine and everybody was doing well. So I'm still concerned about all of this, and I think we need to keep asking questions, keep going on this. It is, in my view, far from over, and I'm still waiting for the National Transportation Safety Board to release its investigation of why the plane went down.
Yeah, well, listen, and Brandon wants to weigh in, but I got to say this. Just remember, right after Obama won the election, he visited Hawaii. He saw two people while he was there, his grandmother and Loretta Fuddy. He left. He gets on an airplane. While he's on the airplane coming back, his grandmother dies. This time he goes to Hawaii. He's there. While he's there, Loretta Fuddy dies. Remember that. He was on vacation.
Are you sure about the dates? Because Loretta Fuddy died December 11, and I think Obama was there a little bit later than that. I'm not sure that that's accurate, but I'll double-check that.
Let's make sure that I'm accurate on that, but that was what I was advised of, that he was actually there on vacation when she died, but I could be wrong. Do you know anything about that, Brandon?
I don't think that he was.
Okay.
But the point I wanted to make
let me just say, if I'm wrong, then I take that back, because I want to speak accurately, but that I thought that was correct. But anyway, thank you for correcting me, Dr. Grace. But anyway, just amazing stuff. But Brandon, go ahead.
It's just amazing how many times we see these coincidental deaths like this, and you see one of two things. And in this case, you saw them both. You either see a plane that blows up or crashes, and then you see a heart attack.
Right. Right.
And it's amazing we see them both in this case. So, again, not saying that it's a fact that she was, taken out, but those are two. Do some research into I think it was in the 60s and 70s, at how many congressmen died in plane crashes.
Well,
it's amazing.
If you did a risk assessment on, I'll have a very low chance of dying in a plane crash, but you don't die of the plane crash, but then you die of this cardiac arrhythmia without a history of health problems in a plane crash. I mean, if you did a risk assessment on that, we had an insurance company do a risk assessment.
It's like 1 in 10 billion or something.
I wonder what that statistic would be.
Yeah, and then when you figure in that she just happened to be the director of health, who just happened to certify the birth certificate, who just happened to be was going to be exposed in a few months, and then add all that in, it's like 1 in 10 billion or something. I don't know.
With all the other facts about how calm everybody was, how they knew they were going to be rescued, why would she be so stressed out over it? Well, she's just floating in a life jacket with a plane hovering overhead. They knew they were going to be saved. Where's the stress?
Yeah. Listen, I hear the music.
I mean, yes, I understand that it's traumatic, that everything you've been through, but it still seems to me that you're making the autopsy is making a big leap, but I don't necessarily justify it.
No, I agree. Listen, we've got 15 seconds for you to tell people where they can find you, and then we're out of here.
WorldTribune.com, The Strange Death of Loretta Fuddy.
All right, good deal. That's Dr. Grace. Dr. Grace, thanks for being with us. We'll see you next Friday.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.